think we are live. I made a little hiccup earlier, so I am attempting to multi-stream to both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So this may or may not work. I did it earlier and accidentally went live on YouTube. That was an accident. So, anyways, this is, let's see if I can get this pulled up. I want to make sure I can read everyone's comments on both. Looks like they're both going. This is great. So I pay most attention to the YouTube thing, but I do have the Facebook up over here, the Book of Faces. So hey, Francine, we'll see Trained by Tex, Dennis, Radu, Jake, Gaston, Jason, Jeffrey. Hey, everybody's in here. Look at that. So as the title says, J2534 training is available. I get a lot of people ask. I have never even mentioned this on Facebook, really. I mean, like a couple times in a couple small groups. But I forget that Facebook is such a large audience. So I have, I focus so much on the YouTube channel, which I want to thank everyone on the YouTube side. I mean, I'm at like 3,800 subscribers. We've got over 500,000 views on the channel. It's fantastic. Billy says, I'm coming in clear on AM radio in Dallas. I'd like to think that, but so yeah, we've actually got, so Facebook, this is interesting. This is my first attempt at Facebook streaming, multicasting, and it's kind of difficult to do a streaming software to a multicasting software to both YouTube and to Facebook, because Facebook's difficult like that. YouTube's super simple. But the training is available. It was difficult for me to put any information on the Facebook side, so you guys can't see that, but you can join in over at YouTube if you'd like also, but I'll try to keep an eye on both of the comment sections. But yeah, I've got a ton of training available. So for the Facebook side, you guys have not seen this. If you're joining me for the first time on Facebook and you've never been on my YouTube channel, the YouTube channel is L1 Automotive Diagnostics and Programming. Big long name, but if you just search L1 Automotive or my name, Keith Perkins, it comes up. So I provide through Patreon a separate, even third-party source, because nobody does this all in one. I'm attempting to get my website up and running, but as of right now, we'll see any Audis here. Hey, Mike. I'm attempting to get the website all set up, but until then, currently I'm providing training on Patreon, and it's so you pay a monthly amount and get access to the training. I sit down every Sunday and do training like this. We are actually 89% to our goal of subscribers on Patreon. Once we hit 100% of this goal, I'm going to go 2 days a week. We're going to be doing training. We sit down and we do anywhere from about 40 minutes to an hour and a half, sometimes even longer of training every week right here, and it's live face-to-face training. I get to answer your questions for you, and right now we're doing our series of J2534 training. Domestic and Asian coverage, so we're going to cover the major domestic, the Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler, and then we cover most of the Asians, the most common, Toyota, Honda, Ford, Nissan, that kind of stuff, Mazda, the most commonly seen ones. So, but anyways, this is kind of the platform we go by. You can see up here in the corner, there's a little, that's the opening slide to the class. It is in fact an 8-hour class, complete 8-hour class, not including any of the hands-on stuff. It's easily turned into a 2-day class when we add hands-on. But I also forgot, every time we start a class, I tried to start out with our sponsor, and our sponsor this week is Guinness. I'm kidding, they don't pay me. I wish they did. So we got to start out right. Rotary engine also. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything super crazy about module flash on rotary, because I've done an RX-8 and it wasn't anything special. But hey, Steven, Carlos, Corey, I missed you, Mike, Kuba, didn't see you guys pop in over on YouTube. This is difficult, guys. If you've never tried to keep up with two different audiences at the same time, it's very difficult. Anyways, so we're doing a pint of brain juice. Perfect. So that's that's what we do. So everyone asks me all the stuff that I do on YouTube. Everyone that's on Facebook that doesn't see the YouTube, this is kind of neat. 3 VTech intake, 3 pairs of injectors. Interesting, Marin. Do I feel that manufacturers are giving fair attention and support to the J2534 software and support of that, I guess is what you're asking, Corey. Depends upon the manufacturer. So I'll say that each manufacturer has made pretty good efforts to stride towards the J2534 platform. Now, if we talk about J2534 itself, just like the original 2004 mandated standard, I feel like everyone did their job of the legal part of that. There are some outliers that gave everyone a hard time. Some Euro stuff's a little more difficult than others. Nissan, of course, is extremely problematic, along with Chrysler, but that's because their original hardware design, the original process of updating a module's software, involved using the VCI as part of that. And then J2534 by itself is a pass-through standard, so it's a whole nother animal. So both Chrysler and Nissan had to re-engineer their software to function with a device that is nothing like their original process. So just on the level of how it was originally built, totally different. So that's why it's so problematic. Now on the front of like right to repair, I feel like everyone's done a pretty good job except for Nissan. Nissan's done, they're kind of just, they really drag their feet. I mean, they have the R2R software that's out for Consult 3 Plus, R2R that's J2534 compatible diagnostic and module programming software. Or, sorry, not module programming. I believe R2R only covers diagnostic, and the module programming is still left to NERS, which means kind of in a tough spot there. So that gives us issues. But supposedly, in a couple months, they were supposed to be coming out with new hardware, and I've heard recently from a couple sources that the new hardware is just a new laptop platform. The VCI is still not established as a replacement, but they are upgrading from the Panasonic CF19 to a newer Panasonic product as the hardware for the computer side, but still doesn't resolve the VCI side, because the VCI for the factory hardware is currently $2,300 to $2,600 through Nissan or through Bosch. It's on their Nissan TechMate website. Gives UK support, but they know how to charge for it. Oh, I'm sure, Steven. I'm sure it's a real rigmarole to get information. I mean, the original J2534 standard was a USA mandate, so that's where it kind of causes a lot of issues. But also, I'm noticing a ton of people popping in on the Facebook platform are not automotive people. So I apologize if you're on my Facebook. It's kind of shifted over the years to a, I don't know. I mean, everything I do on YouTube, Facebook, social media is all geared towards the automotive industry. So this particular thing we're talking about now, I'm kind of didn't do much for introducing the entire thing to Facebook. But in case you guys are just not joining, it's mainly automotive related. So Nissan service information is bad too. It's not just their J2534. Right, Phil. I agree. Their service information is not good, but the service information they do give, you'd be surprised to find they do give a lot of oscilloscope patterns for stuff. So I'm fairly thankful for that. When you go in, you look at some of the cam and crank stuff through Nissan. Even in the early 2000s, there were oscilloscope waveforms. I mean, granted, it was from like an Ultratronics MTS 5200 or something, but it was still a waveform nonetheless. Get the feeling they give half-hearted support, kind of like we'll only help as much as we absolutely have to. Yeah, Corey, they're all kind of interested in that, because I mean, I don't know, if I developed a software and developed a process, and then the government came in and said, hey, you have to now do it with this other person's hardware, but it's not just one person's hardware, it's anybody that meets this one standard that we came up with and not you, and then told me I had to comply, the amount of support I would supply to that would be very difficult. A good example of that would be like Farsight, the company that's an Autologic company. When they first came out with their tool, I even bashed it a little bit because the tool itself wasn't that great. But the purpose of having this one tool they supplied to everyone they're a support model. So by giving a standardized hardware, it was much easier for them to provide support, because they would have the same, their support technicians would be trained on the one hardware and the known hardware issues. If you started adding that support to every hardware that's out there, there's this limitless amount of variables and problems that can happen that are hardware based that can be difficult. You could spend a lot of time trying to diagnose a possible software issue only to find out it's a hardware-software compatibility problem, which you kind of have no pony in the game if you didn't supply the hardware, right? Steven says, did a Ford Mondeo last week, access $15 for calibration, $15 for patch, $13 for DTC erase, $14 just... no, DTC erase was $14. Just under $60 total for one PCM update with my charge, not much cheaper than than the dealer, I guess. I agree, Steven. So if you talk about like brand new General Motors stuff, let's say you're going to do a body control module or anything that involves vehicle theft system, you're going to have to pay the $40 for the access to the VIN number for 2 years. This is in the U.S. market. And then you're going to pay $24.95 for access to the security side. So you're in at $65. My normal charge for, let's say, a module update is like $150. So I'll take my normal ability to make maybe $80 to $100 profit on a single module flashing job, because if we look at like Nissan at $270 a year plus $20 a flash file, or Ford for $49.95 for 2 days of access, or Chrysler $24.95 for 1 day of access, $30 for 2 days access, I think, and then $70 for 3, something like that. But those are not locked to specific VINs. I get access for that period of time. So if I were to do maybe 2 or 3 module flashes, I could condense it in and spread the cost of the one purchase of software all the way to a couple vehicles. So my actual cost goes down per vehicle, so my profit would go up. Well, with GM, we don't. We're talking about maybe making $65 dollars profit on the whole entire deal. $65 to $80 profit. That's not a lot when you count the other thousands of dollars of equipment you have to purchase, plus the drive time, plus insurance, plus what if it fails? And then you've got to, if you have to purchase a module, if your business platform is built that way. So Gaston says, Farsight ? It's an AutoLogic tool. AutoLogic provides support, and that's one of the hardware platforms they offer to aid in that support. Snap-on scanners are overrated. I'd take Farsight over one any day, though. I do not own a single Snap-on diagnostic scan tool, so I will agree that they are overrated, with the caveat that they are actually the perfect tool for about 80% of the technicians out there. 80% of technicians out there, a diagnostic or a Snap-on diagnostic tool will do 95% of what they encounter on a daily basis. So it has its place. It's just when I'm doing module programming, immobilizer functions, high-level diagnosis stuff, the Snap-on is just lacking a lot of the functionality that I need. Oh, hey, Leon did sneak in. What's going on? And Diagnose Dan. If you guys haven't checked out the Budget and Legit Garage and Diagnosis Dan channel, you guys should check that out on YouTube. Try not to forget. David Murray on Facebook says, what is your go-to scanner? So currently, this is funny, I just had to sit here and update it. I literally just sat here and update this thing. It said it was done. Let me get out of here and go back. This came in the mail just the other day. I purchased it. This is the larger. If you guys have seen my YouTube videos, I use the Launch Diagun a lot, as well as the Autel MS908. So those two are my go-tos. Currently, I'm using the X431V or X431-5 platform. It's the tablet-based. It's the same software. It's on my small Diagun, but it's just in a larger platform. Makes looking at scan data much better. Graphing's a little better. But between the two that I use every day, the most for an aftermarket scanner would be the Launch or an Autel unit. Other than that, I pretty much just use OE. So, Corey, the goals do so much justify yearly subscriptions, like Mr. Keith. Yeah, specifically to Fazio, he's got a ton of stuff. So I feel his pain, not quite to the level he does, but when you add up all the yearly scripts that you pay for and the access to stuff and keeping tools updated and tool cost and buying new tools every year to keep up with everything, it is tens of thousands of dollars easily. So your cost goes up. Then we talk about insurance and then depreciation on the vehicle you drive. I drive anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 miles a month. I'm doing an oil change every month at this point. Hey Steve from Simply Diagnostics made it in. Everyone check his channel out too, as well as Super Mario Diagnostics. I almost said it, Mario. I almost said brothers. Drew's made it in here, awesome. See David Murray, got your stuff. Isn't Farsight just a loaded ATS tablet with Escope? So Dennis, I had the Farsight for a little while. I test drove it. Currently, you get G-Scan's tab software, which is a fairly powerful aftermarket scan tool. It's PC-based, but it's built into this platform. So I guess to roundabout without doing a whole review of that thing again, I did a video on it. But the Farsight is a WinMate produced, which is a Taiwan company PC tablet. It's running Windows 10 on a tablet. It's ruggedized, fully ruggedized. It has a 2D barcode scanner, a lot of USB ports, a lot of other peripheral stuff. So with that, you can purchase optionally to get the eScan from Automotive Test Solutions, Bernie Thompson software. I believe it comes with the G-Scan tab software, which is a diagnostic. It's like a enhanced scanner. It's kind of similar to like an Autel or something, or a Launch or whatever, similar in its function of having bidirectional controls and that kind of stuff built into a tablet, as well as you have a lot of functions built in for BlueLink software from Beckman Technologies for doing like Mercedes-Benz coding and programming. But it's done via a J2534 device through that as the computer. It also has, it's been a while since I've played with it. Since it is a computer, you could run a picoscope on it. You can, what are the other options that it comes with? I believe you can get it with the ATS scope also, the oscilloscope from Automotive Test Solutions. So there's a ton of options. It's a platform. And then because it's so standardized, Autologic has really good support through it. Because it's standardized, it's easier to provide support with it. Andre says, hey y'all, and Andre is going to be making it to Vision because Trained by Tex has chosen him. We all kind of sat around and chose, and Andre was, I think that's you. I don't remember your last name, Andre. I think that's the same person, right? Tell me yes or no. There's Brandon Steckler popping in on Facebook. I don't know. Not quite the main man, Mr. Steckler. He's going to make a division. Trained by Tex gave away a full ride to Andre to come. I don't remember your last name, Andre. I'm sorry. Phil Rook says, Autel and Launch are awesome for special functions. Absolutely. They cover a ton of special functions. Just about everything there is. Seen Erico using that launch. It seems slow in his video. Does it seem slow to you? No. The larger launch is faster than the Diagun, and it was pretty fast on its own. Thank you, Mario. Yes, I wasn't sure if that was your account, Andre. So anyways, we were paying for a full trip to Vision, so we're going to see him at the end of February. Pico says he took Brandon's class on Thursday. The pressure diagnosis class is awesome. I took that at Super Saturday. So good job, Brandon. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to keep up and see what's going on with this. The Facebook platform is pretty interesting. It's definitely different. Corey says it's taken Brandon's class twice now. Yeah, because you took it Super Saturday with me. I do drink Yingling. Yeah, I'm okay with it, Phil. When I get a preference, it's Guinness. Everyone say bye to Leon at Bodget Legit Garage. He's got to go. So again, guys, if you haven't checked out Bodget Legit Garage, it's awesome. I'm in the U.S., and I'm pretty sure Bodget and Legit just mean, like, Bodget is like when you goof something up, when you mess it up, or kind of like, I don't know, I'm guessing here. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. This isn't a U.S. Slang that's used often. Bodget and Legit is like messed up and legit, right? Legitimate. and then budget is like when you, I don't know, foobar something, I guess. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, please. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it means. We'll see you later. But if you guys haven't checked out his channel, it's pretty great. He's super intelligent and very personable. I'm pretty dry, so if you want some kind of personality, check out Budget and Legit Garage. Hey, Bryn. Thanks, Mario. I think I missed Leon's earlier, too. I think he gave me a super chat. That was awesome. He said, boom! Thanks, guys. I don't even know how to turn super chat off or on. I don't know how that works. But that's awesome. Where can you take Brandon's class? Dave Murray asked. Brandon's class was available at Super Saturday. It is currently available that I know of. Coming up at Vision in Kansas City, which is, if you've never been to Vision or you don't know what I'm talking about, it is the largest that I can imagine. I mean, it's the largest I've ever seen automotive training event. It's the Super Bowl of training, automotive training. It's in Kansas City every year. It's going to be February the 28th through March the 3rd. So you can sign up on visionkc.com. And then you can also take Brandon's class at TST. So if you go to tstseminars.com, that's going to be in Tarrytown, New York at the end of March. And I'll be at both of those events. I'm not taking Brandon's class because I've already taken on Super Saturday, but it is an awesome class to take. Well, no, I am taking it at TST because... No, he's not teaching at TST, is he? Crap. I don't think he's teaching at TST. I think I said that wrong. But TST is doing a webcast of it. I totally messed that up. I budgeted that, right? Anyways. Yeah, Diagnose Dan's channel is awesome. Flat Rate Master's awesome. If you like the... if you're into the... talking like we're doing, just chatting about the industry, griping about stuff, new stuff's coming up, Flat Rate Master's awesome. He doesn't have time. He is a flat rate master, so Michael doesn't really have a whole lot of time to play around with the camera in his work environment, but yeah. Transducer class. Yeah, I don't either. I don't want to put words in Brandon's class, but I messed up. I don't think he's teaching it at TST, but they did a webcast with it where you could purchase it. Oh yeah, he did the 4-day circle for TST. That's right. Brent Klein says he is doing it for TST several times. See, that's what I get for just talking out loud. Steve says my job at TST is to keep him out of trouble. So that's not going to be good because I'm not any good at that. So what we'll do is, since we'll hang out at TST, since you're going to be coming in from the UK, my wife's going to be there too, so she'll keep both of us out of trouble. Since I think if we find Big Old Barrel of Guinness, we'll both be getting in our own kind of trouble. Leon asks, is the OTC 3896 Evolve better than the Modus Edge 18.4? I don't get to use either of those on a daily basis, but I have used the Modus Edge quite a bit, and I would say that I would probably take a Modus Edge over the OTC Evolve, mainly for the scope function, and I feel like it's probably a better supported tool since it's Snap-on. Right, he's not doing the big event at TST, but he's doing a bunch of other stuff for TST. So you can go to TST seminars, and I think you can purchase the webcast that he did, which is the class. Corey says he's doing a smaller monthly event also. So, and Brendan says one of the TSTs will be webcast. So yeah, you guys will have the ability to see Brandon's class, which is amazing, online or in person, depending upon what you're doing. And Michael says he'll keep us both in trouble. Thanks. That's awesome. But anyways, so yeah, doing a ton of training for this J2534 class. It's technically finished on my end, but it's not done. I keep refining it as I teach it. So I'm teaching it online, and then I'm going to be doing some live stuff in person pretty soon I'll be doing a local class here in Oklahoma, and then probably taking it on the road a little bit and seeing where it can take me. But it has been revised quite a few times since its original inception to now. I mean, I've actually revamped the entire thing. I had to change the platform because originally when I wrote it, it was if I was to teach the old version today, it would be extremely out of date. There'd be a lot of things that wouldn't be applicable. Not to mention the class itself was like in a 4:3 aspect ratio format, and almost all projectors nowadays will do 16:9. So I had to change all the stuff to 16:9 and then rewrite out a bunch of wrong stuff. So in the class there are some old photos and there's some new stuff. So I'm trying to do anything that's a lower resolution, older photo. I'm trying to redo and get a high resolution photo of, so I can a much better, more clear picture. And then I have to redo the books because all of those are with old pictures, old information, tons of new information added in for the right to repair stuff. Leon asked, building a full class. Yeah, Mario, it's a struggle for me to push it all into 8 hours now. So for instance, right now on the Patreon thing, on my patreon.com/Keith Perkins, where I'm teaching it, we're on part 10 today, and each part has been nearly an hour or more. So that would be 10 hours of content so far. But on the online platform, I'm able to stop, answer questions, interact, veer off into other levels, because really these guys are paying for the content on a monthly basis. So whatever information they would like, I try to give them, even if it's off of the J2534 subject or off of the manufacturer we're talking about at the time, or the subject. And I mean, we go over, this class is designed to take an individual who is just aware that module programming can be done in the aftermarket, and take them all the way to the point of understanding the equipment needs, the cost, what kind of computer, how to set it up, then for each software, and they're all different variables of what level. Even if you're interested in just doing one or two manufacturers, the class is applicable. And then right now we're in the section of actually doing module flashes. We're going step by step. I'm adding all my tips in on how to use, when used modules can be done, when they can't be done. There are just so many variables, and of course this is not all encompassing. I mean, we could teach 10 hours on one manufacturer. Stephen Hayes says 10 hours of verbal gold. Let me see if TST seminars, let me make sure before I share it that it's, I think it's .org. I'll put it on there. Yeah, it's tstseminars.org. So let me share it real quick because it's not letting anyone else. I think it's preventing them from putting in an external website because, you know, the YouTubes and the Facebooks and things. So I'll share that there, and then I'll actually also share it over here on the Facebook platform. Helps if I type it correctly. It's kind of jittery. I don't think it likes me sharing two streams at one time. And then also, if you have to choose between one of the two, I would say visionkc.com. There we go. That would be the one if I had to choose between one or the other. Peekaboo says, I saw on AITN that a guy tried to program a used global A module, wouldn't let him, so he removed the EEPROM, read the info off of it, and put it into EEPROM, then it worked perfectly fine. So it may not be that it didn't let him, it just probably gave him an error. And if you have to be careful with some later model global A vehicles when reusing a used module, when you install a used module, you can possibly set some permanent DTC flags and security flags in other modules. Just depends. I dealt with this on a cluster on a was it 16 or 17, maybe 15 Silverado LTZ. We were trying, actually it was a work truck, trying to do a cluster swap from an LTZ to that. They did a dash BCM human interface module swap and all that. As soon as we plugged them in, we almost bricked the truck. We had a lot of problems, so we were dealing with that. The module, in order to do that, a lot of them will just work. A lot of them you can go in and reprogram, no problem. Just change the VIN, make sure, when it auto IDs, if you're doing a PCM, you have to make sure you change the VIN. And that way it sets that VIN to the vehicle. But other times, as soon as you put them in and cycle the key on, you have issues. Yes, Envision does have to be live. You got to be there. So Peekaboo, it can cause a lot of problems trying to do used models on Global A. I usually just go against it, unless, of course, you're going to do some EEPROM work, in which case, yes. EEPROM is kind of the way to go, because on the component level, there is a chip or a module inside of the computer that does house the calibration file, VIN information, key information, that kind of stuff. If you were to copy that information with maybe an EEPROM reading tool and then put it into the other EEPROM on the other module, then yes, essentially you have two cloned modules, so it wouldn't know any different. Especially if you have like a hardware failure or a driver or a MOSFET failure inside of it, that may be a very quick way to circumvent that. V for Voxel, what's going on? In market for a scanner X431 Torque versus the, I guess you mean MS906BT. What do you guys pick? I'm not familiar with either platform using them personally. So, but anyways, guys, it is 4:31 p.m. I didn't realize how fast the time went. I'm going to head on over to the Patreon platform. We're going to do part 10 of this J2534 class. We're going to do some General Motors module flashing today, and we're going to do, I believe the particular case study we're going to use for this one is a sensing diagnostic module to airbag module on an Impala, and then we're going to cover some Class 2 problems, working around issues with using a J-box on the single wire J1850 pulse width modulation network itself. Francine says, budget is British slang for half-ass it. Perfect. So that's pretty close. You kind of messed it up, kind of halfway did it. So, budget and Leggett Garage, that's what I figured it was, is, halfway did it, but it's legit. So, alright guys, I am out of here. I'm going to leave both the Facebook and the YouTube platform, and we're going to see you guys over on Patreon if you're there. Patreon.com/Keith Perkins if you'd like to check it out, but it is a paid platform. So, but like, subscribe, comment, all the fun stuff on Facebook, all the thumbs up and the hearty things and the emojis, all those are cool because they, I guess, make it show up as a recommended video and such. So, we'll see you guys next time. Yeah. See you later, Corey, Pico. George, everybody. Have a good one.